Okay.
All righty. For the plaintiff, Mr. Fink. For the defense, Mr. Markey. We got a court. We got a witness. Mr. Fink is in examination as we speak. 140 words a minute. Colloquy galore.
Okay, ready? Begin. You made the statement that was the least of my concern, was that you knew what was going to happen to those principals at the time the discussions took place about winding up, did you not?
No.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Weiss, you wrote to these various principals on behalf of, or purported to write on behalf of, the Weiss Green Company, in which you terminated your contract with them.
I don't follow you.
Excuse me, wait until he finishes. Could we have the question back, Your Honor?
Have you completed the question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Read the question back to the witness. Miss Reporter, please.
Your Honor, I object to that as ambiguous and uncertain as to time. When is it related to time?
At any time, the most of November and December 2007.
I don't know what you were talking about, really.
Well, didn't you write letters to certain of these principals saying Weiss Green Company are out of business and we will terminate our relationship with you? That company will no longer be your sales representatives?
I certainly would like to see one of those letters. No.
You never wrote such a letter? Did you ever send them a copy of your notice of termination?
You are speaking now of the notice of termination, which is attached to the complaint?
Yes, Your Honor.
There was no writing necessary. Unheard of.
Just a minute, I move to strike that as being non-responsive.
Just answer the question.
Could we have the question back, Your Honor?
Why don't you rephrase it?
I would like to know what the witness means by no writing necessary.
That is not a proper question, and that has been stricken.
You have used the words in this courtroom that nobody advised these people that you were terminating these contracts with them.
That has been stricken from the record, and I object to counsel.
As an answer, it has been stricken, and I want to ask him about it.
The objection is overruled. Read the question, Miss Reporter, please.
I said
Just a minute. That is not a question.
I will withdraw it.
That is not a proper question.
Do you have a letter that you wrote to Revere Copper and Brass, Inc.? Do you have a copy of a letter in your files here?
What?
I show you this letter, which purports to be on the letterhead of Revere Copper and Brass, Inc., dated December 5, 2007, addressed Mr. R.J. Weiss, Weiss Green Company, 3457 South La Cienega Boulevard, Los Angeles, California.
Your Honor, if it please the court.
And I will ask you.
Well, now, just a minute, counsel.
I am in the middle of a question.
Well, it doesn't sound like a question, Your Honor.
May I conclude?
It has not been identified.
Identify the letter for the record at this time. It may be marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit Number 4.
And my objection, Your Honor, goes to counsel reading from a document not in evidence.
Very well. You can refer to it as Plaintiff's Exhibit Number 4 then, counsel, and show the letter to the witness.
Your Honor, I know of no rule pursuant to which counsel can object to what I suggest the letter purports to show in describing it to the witness, and I would like the record to show what the document purports to be before I identify it.
Your Honor.
We have identified it as Plaintiff's Exhibit.
You may identify it by date and letterhead, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. I show you what purports to be a letter from Revere Copper and Brass, Inc., which purports to bear date of December 5, 2007. and which purports to be addressed to Mr. R.J. Weiss of Weiss Green Company, 3457 South La Cienega Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. And I want to ask you some questions with regard to this instrument. First of all, was the Weiss Green Company located at 3457 South La Cienega Boulevard?
Yes.
Secondly, are you Mr. R.J. Weiss?
Yes.
Third, had you previously to December 5, 2007, written to Revere Copper and Brass Inc.?
I don't remember.
Well, does this refresh your recollection in any way that you did write a letter on December the 1st?
And by this, counsel, are you referring to plaintiff's exhibit number 4 for identification?
Yes.
May I talk?
No, you may not.
Answer the question, Mr. Weiss.
May we have the last question, Your Honor?
Read it back, Miss Reporter, please.
Let me reframe it. Mr. Weiss, I want to ask you again now, did you advise your principals in writing that the Weiss Green Company was terminating their contracts with them at any time prior to January 1, 2008? And when I say principals, I mean any one or more of them?
Is this a yes or no?
The question was a little long. May we have the question back, Your Honor?
Read the question back to the witness, Miss Reporter, please.
You listen carefully to the questions, Mr. Weiss.
I will reframe the question, Your Honor. Mr. Weiss, did you write to any of the suppliers or principals at any time prior to January 1, 2008, and advise them that you, acting on behalf of Weiss Green Company, were terminating the contracts they had with Weiss Green Company?
Yes, but in the
You can explain.
duty of my office, I was answering probably a correspondence they had requested acknowledgement and where they had sent through a cancellation. This could be in this case too.
Well, you were still around the Weiss Green Company offices for some time after November 9th, 2007. That is, you were there from time to time, were you not?
Just answer the question, Mr. Weiss. May we have the question back?
Yes, I know the question. After December 9th, yes.
November the 9th.
November the 9th, yes.
You were there after December the 5th of 2007, were you not?
No.
Do you know Mr. Pope, the sales manager?
Yes.
You have had correspondence with him from time to time, have you?
No.
Before and since this date of December 5, 2007?
No.
Have you ever seen his signature before?
Here?
Have you ever seen a letterhead of Revere Copper and Brass Inc. before?
Yes.
This is their letterhead.
Yes.
We are talking about plaintiff's exhibit number 4 now. Do you know whether or not this letter was sent by Revere Copper and Brass Inc.?
I am sure it was.
Do you have any doubt in that regard?
No.
I will offer this in evidence as plaintiff's exhibit number 4, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I don't believe there has been sufficient foundation for the authentication of this document whatsoever.
This letter, Your Honor, refers to a letter from the witness dated December 1st of 2007, and I would like to have the witness produce his office copy of that letter.
If I can find it, counsel, I would gladly produce it for you.
In the meantime, however, I could lay further foundation by calling the witness down for just a minute if counsel wants to put us through all this trouble for no reason. It is a waste of time. If I may remove the witness, I will lay a further foundation.
Counsel, I will try and find the letter that you want. As to that particular piece of paper, I don't think it is any foundation.
I think it is interference with this trial. To start objecting to this letter, you have a right to if you wish.
It is marked for identification now.
I am offering it in evidence, but if we need some more foundation, I would be glad to call a witness.
You may do so.
May I take the witness off the stand? We will waste a few minutes here. Will you take the stand, please, Mr. Green? Will you swear the witness?
Just be seated and state your name for the record, sir.
Floyd W. Green.
Mr. Green, you were one of the parties in this action, Cloyd W. Green, who is a cross-complainant,
Floyd W. Green.
and you were connected with the Weiss Green Company for some number of years. Were you, as described by Mr. Weiss in his testimony?
Yes, I was.
Were you the so-called inside man of that organization?
Right.
I show you here a letter of December 5th, what purports to be a letter from Revere Copper and Brass, Inc., December 5, 2007. Do you recall whether or not on or about that date you received that letter in the mail
Yes.
at the office of the,
It came to the office of the Weiss Green Company in the mail.
or the Weiss Green Company?
Uh-huh.
And you have had correspondence with this same Revere Copper and Brass, Inc., Mr. Pope, I believe is the name of the sales manager.
Well, I don't know that we had any particular correspondence with them. They were local here.
They were one of your principals.
They were one of our principals. Yes, that's right. We had a contract with them, and I presume we might have had correspondence on other subjects.
But you did receive this in the ordinary course of mail,
Yes,
and it came to your attention at that time.
right.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Anything further?
I have no questions of this witness at this time, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
We will offer plaintiff's exhibit number 4 in evidence at this time.
I don't think there is sufficient foundation. I object to it on that ground, Your Honor, and further foundation that this document is hearsay.
May I ask the witness one further question just to keep the record complete? This is such a waste of time. I apologize to the court.
Excuse me, I really don't think,
Mr.
counsel, I would like to object to your comments about my wasting the court's time.
This is not a jury trial, counsel.
I understand that.
Mr. Green, the document I showed you, is it part of the business records of the Weiss Green Company?
What was that?
Okay.
Stop the recording.